where we came together, what were points of intersection. And another thing that Kerry was very concerned about is gangs and gang banging and how we're losing children, losing boys mostly for the gangs. And so he had this exhibit called Lost Boys. And this is one of the Lost Boys. And his gang symbol was a Jewish star. And we're going to talk about that more in a second. So anyway, he was trying to pay tribute to this child, to this boy who was lost because of gang violence, who was lost in a gang bang. And so what kind of boy does he paint? What kind of image is here? Like a black boy, right? And what's kind of around him in the back?
Like the guy around his
a halo. Yeah, it's kind of like an angel. And like there's light emanating from it, maybe? Yeah, so he was trying to memorialize this boy who was killed because of gang violence. And how does he look? Why they use the Jewish star as a symbol? Maybe they don't even know that they're a Jewish star, right? They just know that they're a gang symbol. But after doing some research, Kerry found out that a lot of the churches on the south side used to be synagogues. And there's stained glass in the synagogues, which are now churches. And in that, there's a lot of symbols of the Jewish star. And that's where these gangs picked up their symbols. Right, the Star of David. So he saw all this graffiti all over, and he was thinking about how that symbol gets reinterpreted. And he also saw that both blacks and Jews have, very sadly, have had gang banging going on. And this is a photograph of a man named Baruch Goldstein. Does that name ring a bell? Does anybody know who this man might be? Okay, in about January, does anybody know? In about January this year, this man went into a mosque and he was in Israel, he killed a lot of Palestinians who were praying. He took a gun and he did a gangbang. So this is a Jewish gangbanger. And Kerry's very upset about all this killing. But he's showing that, wow, wait a second, there is this point of intersection. Anybody want to say anything else about this piece? Have you seen these symbols?
Yes, they know what the gang signs mean. They name each point on the star.
Like whenever they say something, they say that's on the Star of David. So they know what it means.
They do know what it means.
Yeah.
They do. Do you have any idea? Do they ever think about why they might have chosen this star? Or
yeah, because each one stands for a symbol.
Oh, each point means something?
Yeah.
Do you guys know what they are?
Yeah. L, triple L's, and BGD. I mean, life, love, and liberty, and Black Gangster Nation.
Wow. Wouldn't it be nice if life, love, and liberty didn't have to mean belonging to a gang and shooting people? Do you think there are other ways to pursue life, love, and liberty?
Yeah.
What kind of ways?
To respect one another, stop all the shootings and everything.
Great. I wish that could happen.
It can when you have young people like this group. We just hope that it spreads, that what's going on with this group is going to spread like the plague to other groups.
I hope so.
And then we'll have a better world.
I think so. I really do. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But as we leave, we're walking through the piece we started out with. And what was that piece about? It was called Phoenix. What kind of message was that? What?
Life, love, liberty. Where did you get life, love, liberty? At home, you get that in your house. They trying to say that the gangbangers, that's what they give you, life, love, liberty. But you don't. You get that in your homes.
So it really starts with
at home.
Yeah, so what's happening in the home? What's the problem there?
That they ain't getting it. So they got to get it.
Who's supposed to deliver it at home?
Another father.
So what do you think the real problem really lies with our society? It's amazing. You and I think alike. You know what I think the bedrock is to our society? Parents. Parents who know how to parent and parents who parent will raise young people who go out into society. It's not you and your next door neighbor's kid. It's your parents, because your parent raised you, and that child across the street was raised by that parent, and if both sets of parents do it right, these youngsters are going to get out on the street and play basketball and have a good time and show respect, right? That's the problem. And one of these days, guess what? It's your turn to be the parent. So do it right.
So do it right. And on that note, we're walking through our last piece, the piece we started out with, and it had this message of hope. And I hope that's what you leave with today.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
In Hebron went down, and I was reading the story in Time magazine. I came across that picture of Baruch Goldstein standing there, and I noticed that he had on that yellow Jewish star used during the Nazi reign in Europe. The day after that, I'm driving by an alley. I look down the alley and I see this Jewish star spray painted on the garbage can. Then I start seeing them everywhere in my neighborhood. And I actually see one in my house. It's like jumps out of the door. And then everywhere, like streets that I drove down all the time, I never noticed any of these things. Then I started seeing them. And these are like gang symbols. And it turns out that this gang is a gang that's on my street. This is their symbol. So the territory is marked. Like Pershing Road is like the northern boundary of the territory, I think. And right at the corner of Pershing Road and Calumet is this one right there. I mean, I see an equivalence in a lot of ways between the dynamics of the way that group operates and gang banging, because they're essentially like gang bangers.